Ladies and gentlemen, kindly allow me to take you guys back to the statement which was read yesterday by Raila Amolo Odinga. And I want us to go to the last part of that statement. Because for me, that last part is what caught my attention. And I've been thinking about it since yesterday. This is what the last part says. Take note that on the 20th of March 2023, we have a date with the destiny in Nairobi. On that date, our supporters throughout the country shall stage a massive procession in Nairobi for a legitimate and inclusive government. Save the date. So my understanding is that on this particular day, Raila Odinga supporters from the entire country will converge in Nairobi. And then once they converge in Nairobi, then they'll stage a massive procession. They are not saying to where, but they are saying that a massive procession in Nairobi for a legitimate and inclusive government. Which begs the question, what do you think will happen on that day? Personally, on this channel, I asked a few guys, I have their numbers, the same question. What do you think will happen on 20th? The response is only two. That number one, there is going to be a massive protest. And then there are also those people who believe that Raila Odinga will postpone the event, and they're calling it empty threat or hot air. That just like happened yesterday, the country will be charged, then nothing is going to happen. But for me, I want to give you what I think is likely to happen on that particular day. Before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Why do you think Raila Odinga chose 20th as the date? Miguna was saying something, but let me just confirm something. Why do you think he chose the date 20th? If you look at your calendar, 20th would be on a Monday. Most political rallies are normally held towards the weekend. So the choice of Monday, in my view, is significant, because if the demos will kick on Monday, it means the next day following all those through, nothing is going to happen in this country. That's what I'm trying to visualize. But again, Miguna indicated that Raila Odinga chose that date. I'm just trying to get Miguna tweet. Miguna indicated that this is what Miguna said, that March 20th was first announced by Julius Malema as the day South Africa should remove Ramaphosa as president of South Africa. Now, the Kenyan conman Raila Odinga has copy-pasted Malema's date minus Malema's eloquence, commitment, vision, and focus. The conman will fail. So according to Miguna, the choice of the date is also meant to coincide with that of Malema in South Africa. Of course, he's also trying to remove Ramaphosa from office. But what do you think will happen on that day? If you ask me, I have 5 things which are likely to happen, which Raila Odinga is likely to do. The first thing is a million march to State House. You know, we've been talking about this 1 million march to State House. And revolutions have happened in this country before. As we speak, I think there's something which is happening in Israel. But let us take back to last year. In last year, in Sri Lanka, a crowd stormed the presidential palace, and they forced the president out of office. You can't rule out the possibility that a million people, committed supporters of Raila Odinga, in the streets of Nairobi, staging a sit-in, cannot force Ruto to vacate office, or if not, I'm just saying, to talk with Raila Odinga. But I'm seeing a million march being staged. So how William Ruto is going to thwart this is something which I'm still trying to figure out. Will he cut off transport from other parts of the country to Nairobi? What about the residents of Nairobi? But again, in Kenya, because of our tribal politics, it's normally very difficult to get Kenyans and rally them around a cause. Because Raila Odinga cannot rally Kenyans around cost of living, because the Kalenjins are not feeling any heat as far as cost of living is concerned, because one of their own is on the throne. The Kikuyus, for example, who voted for Ruto, would not want to shame themselves by being part of this journey. But again, if you look at it critically, the way Kenya is designed, if you ask me, it's difficult to stage a demo because, you know, there's hunger. Kenyans are hungry. You can't expect Kenyans to be on the street, for example, staging a sit-in for 3 good days. Of course, the first day they will go, the second day, very few. So for me, the first thing we should expect is that on this day, Raila Odinga will rally his supporters, let's say 1 million of them, to Nairobi, and then he will lead a march to State House. So that is the first thing. Number 2, I'm also seeing a possibility of Raila Odinga unveiling a parallel government, swearing in ceremony, similar to what Miguna did to him. But probably this one, now with his blessings. I don't think the last one had his blessings. But whether people like Alonso, who are lawyers, can be part of it is something which I still don't know. But I'm looking at a possibility of Raila Odinga forming a parallel government in a public rally on that particular day. So that's something which can also happen. The third thing which is likely to happen is civil disobedience, where he will tell his supporters not to obey any government, going to State House. That will not happen. Just disobeying the government, you know, just doing any other thing, you know, civil disobedience is part of a constitution. But a better term would be mass action with the greatest impact. I don't know how he intends to do it, but I'm looking at a possibility of staging a sit down, maybe just causing chaos to shut down the CBD, Nairobi. And shutting down Nairobi would mean a lot of things. One of them is the safety. The international community will issue those travel advisories to their citizens. You know, they'll advise their citizens not to come to Kenya, and businesses will not be going on, just to shut it down. And that's probably explains why a Monday date was chosen, so that the impact will be felt throughout the week. What I'm not sure about is the sustainability, whether civil disobedience can actually be sustained. The other thing I'm seeing is a sit-in, where Raila will tell his supporters, let us go to the office of the president. Some will go to State House. Some will just remain and maybe just sit on the roads. You know, if you have a million Kenyans sitting like Outa did in Kisumu, he are just sitting on the road the whole day. You throw tear gas at them, they're just there. You come with water cannons, they're just there, sitting. Then they'll be directed, go home. Then they'll begin now counting civil disobedience. Of course, William Ruto would want a situation where he rules in peace, where businesses thrives. And of course, William Ruto is also a politician. Maybe he would want to take advantage of the demos to justify his failures, maybe in future. But I also suspect that a sitting will be occasioned. And my last thing, which I think might happen, is the official process of calling for secession, so that the country called Kenya with the two shareholders is split. The only disadvantage to that is that Raila Odinga is not only for those particular regions, but he has supporters in the mountain who would want to be part of his country. He has supporters in Rift Valley. So I don't even see as a country succeeding, call for secession succeeding because of the political dynamics. For example, if the country was like, you have a Western Alliance and the rest of the country, then you can easily say, okay, let us cut off Western Alliance. But now you are in Migori or in Busia, then you are told you go unafika Kericho, you leave Kericho in Kenya, you go, you take Narok, the other side, you go, you jump, Nairobi being a cosmopolitan, you split it, then you go coast, it's not possible with Kenya. But I remember in 2013, there were maps which were even created on how it's going to happen. But I think that's likely to be one of the talks which is likely to happen. Or the other thing I suspect is that Raila Odinga will use this occasion to call for constitutional reforms initiated by the people, where that constitutional reform will begin and certain things be forced. Like Raila Odinga, in his demands, he was talking of opening of the servers. He's talking of, number two, Raila talked of opening the servers, lowering the cost of living, and the IBC commissioners. Probably he can initiate a constitutional amendment program initiated, going through parliament, going through collecting the 1 million signatures, going through going through parliament, then the people, a few things are changed here and there, things like that. What do you think will happen? But on the other side, William Ruto's side, I think he's highly contemplating arresting Raila Odinga. And probably that is also something which Raila Odinga might be praying for. That let these guys arrest me before the day so that my supporters can do their thing. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Let me know what you think is likely to happen on that particular day. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.